there's a statement in recovery called tradition 2, which is there's a loving presence a loving power that's expressing itself in our group conscience, yeah, or our presence. You know what I mean? Jesus does the same thing, something like if two of us meet, there it is. So yeah, so yeah, so you play a very big role. And I also like ravens, the birds, so you remind me of those. Yeah.
Cool.
Yes. One of the first stuff I started reading was Edgar Allan Poe when I was a kid. Yeah. A famous poem. Quote the raven nevermore. Very good. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he came up with the imp of the perverse.
Yes. He came up with a lot of stuff. Yeah. He came down with addiction. Yeah. Yeah. You know, they had a thing called laudanum around the turn of the century. It was like an opiate tincture. So at one point they said percentage-wise, there were more addicts in the turn of the century than there are now in America. Wow. Because everyone was taking this stuff for headaches and toothaches and doing cocaine and the Coca-Cola. So I think he had a little too much, and I think he drowned in a puddle or something. Really? Yeah. He tripped and he went head first and he didn't come back out, I think. So almost like one of his stories. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so but this is another topic here, yes. Yeah. Really, but see, the weirdest thing is, I feel, in this event of time and space, the head is addicted. It has an addictive nature. It's angst-ridden and very, very agitated. Yes. And it has its ideation, which is the drug of self, in a sense. So it has taken a non-existent thing to be an existent thing, and in a weird way cherishes it and worships it and stuff like that. And we basically become truly grounded and triangulated by the head. Yeah, by the triangulation is past and future, and then it establishes you now as in the present as an existent thing. So that, I feel, is the original movement. That's the irritability, restlessness, and discontent. And then obviously those alarms go off, and then the alarms are ignorantly read, and you do something like many alcoholics will say their first drink was to get relief from alcoholism. Yeah. So they drank and they got relief from the alcoholism through the alcohol, but it was a very short term, and the payoff cost ratio changed dramatically and only went one way. Lots of cost and a little payoff. But then many of us crossed the line when there was no going back, in time at least. Yeah, but this is the dilemma about addictions. Most of the time, it's like Dracula going out and hunting vampires. Yeah. So the original, the big whopper of addiction is the mental activities addiction to this idea of being the doer, the thinker, the feeler. Just the nounness of an event that's based on verbs. It's just a weird thing, and it's stubbornly all in, to the point where something that was very hard earned was shared by people who came into recovery in the beginning of AA, yeah, which was a formalized way to produce a sense, what they call a spiritual awakening. And the people there, they came to a conclusion after years of attempting to do just that, of getting out of self as self. So they started finally to recognize that the original addiction was trying to get out of the other addictions. Yeah. which is so it was using the in and out of the addictions to stabilize its addiction, which is the cherishing of self. Like in Buddhism, they call it sometimes the cherishing of self, of this idea of being a long-lasting, independent, separate entity. And because we're so in it, it's amazing when you're relieved of it, how incredible it is. It's much more than you imagine. This saturation of this idea of the non-existent thing being an existent thing, just unbelievable. And then maybe I only have had little glimpses and other people have glimpses, but by a glimpse, you can see or get a sense of the extent of it. Yeah. So you're thinking from it. Yeah. You're feeling everything from it. You're thinking everything from it. And basically, it's almost as if you're in a prison. The incoming letters and the outgoing letters get, redacted. You know what I mean? Nothing gets through. Like the Course says, this thing that's pretending to be you does not communicate. And you, as what you are, do not understand it at all because it's not understandable. It's like insane. Yeah. If you, in the mental logic, it makes sense when you're in that gear and thing. When you come out of it, it's insane. It's an insane. And this is why, like, I came into, let's say, the spiritual processes. Yes.
Yeah.
I got introduced to it when I was 19. Then I went off. I was involved for 5 years with earnestness and sincerity, but it was, I was outmatched completely. Yes. The spirituality didn't even get close to spirit whatsoever. It was just, and in a weird way, it was going farther away if you can go farther away. And so I got thrown off that boat after 5 years, and then went back to drug addiction and stuff. And then that led, you know, something was managing my life that led me to have to be managed by others. That's what happened. I'd had to go to rehabs or jail or something, or end up in a hospital to have a little respite, have a little break. And then it became, and then this happens a lot with a lot of people, you get institutionalized. Yeah. So you get the language and you can sort of make it look like you're interested, but you're not. Yeah. But you're getting meals and you live and you're getting shelter and shit like that. And then you have a insurance policy that if you get loaded again, you're just going to go into another institution. Yes. So the problem takes a real dualistic look because it's problem, solution, but overall it's the problem. Yes.
Yeah.
So part of the problem is when the problem has a solution.
Right.
Yeah. And then it goes problem, solution, problem, solution, and mostly problem, literally. Yeah. So they fell upon an incredible idea, which is, and Einstein followed up on it, and other people, and before and after, but about, that which is producing the sickness or the illness isn't going to be where you find the relief. Yes. So they realized, yes, the body seems to have a craving, but it's definitely mind, or the mental process is the starter of it. Yeah. So they realize, yeah, once I drink, a craving kicks in, which is almost like chemical, but it starts in the head. Yeah. So they made it very clear. It's not of the body, it's of the head. And the problem resides in the head, shows its effects in the body, but it's in the head. Yeah. So you're listening to it. And then they came with an idea, and obviously they had been through almost every possible way to deal with it back then, and the only time would be every once in a while someone would have a religious awakening and it would be sufficient to stop, but they couldn't standardize it. It was just a rare phenomena when one of them got sober. Mostly it was all going downhill. So then they got whacked. Some grace came in, I feel, in this place, which is sorely needed, grace. Luckily, there's big spurts every once in a while. There's no, couldn't have made it up. It was just a weird, like, there was chemistry and then a combustion and then AA showed up. And now suddenly there was a solution to something that there wasn't really, the solutions for it were like put Uncle Fred in the garage or lobotomies or going into sanitariums. That they are not solutions. Yeah, there were solutions to people that were getting bothered by the fuckers. Yeah, but for the person, there wasn't much of a solution. Yeah, and then whammo, something just squirted some grace through these very unworthy chalices or unworthy vehicles. Yeah, which happens a lot. This is why, because we're so body centered, we think more about the messenger than the message. Yeah, so we think the message and the messenger are in cahoots, but they're not. The message is using the messenger. And the messenger may not get the benefits of the message. It may not. And maybe that's a point that it doesn't in a certain way, because it seems to be very practical and useful. So it just, you start, reading Yankee blogs and going to thrift stores. You don't do shit, but you fulfill the seat assignment. Yeah, literally. And it's not like, I gotta go up that stairway to the stars. No, you're gonna stay in the boiler room, just fucking use. Yeah. So, and it's so ridiculous to believe someone has something, literally. It really is. Yeah. This is what happened. This guy, I did a retreat. He sort of hired me to help him on a retreat. So I was like the guest speaker. I'm sure the people were happy about that in Dublin. And he stayed in touch with me for a while after, but we've lost contact. And he sent me a thing about this famous Tibetan Lama who was in the world of spirituality, guaranteed this dude's enlightened. Yeah. And then he entered dementia. He started getting delirious. And so the people that thought he was enlightened now were having trouble because they were thinking, this guy's out to lunch. Yeah. But the fact is, he was never enlightened. Something was coming through and expressing itself that has nothing to do with the view. The water is not of the hose. Right. It doesn't have any qualities the hose has. It's not made up rubber or anything like that. It's using the hose to go where it needs to go, wants to go. So it's the hose is facilitating something. It's not, but there's nothing alike in what's moving through and what it's moving through. Yeah. So the action figure here is almost on a pendulum of yes and no. Yeah. Duality. Just like when people, when they're young, they're supported like leftist rebels, and then they're conservative assholes when they get older. It just seems like, and you're wondering what the fuck happened to these people, but it's not. It's just we're on it just like pendulum. Some of us may have been on it for a while, so it's not as contrasting. But addiction and then anything other than addiction is a pretty extreme swing. It is, literally. And so it's like ding, and then it makes a sound, bang, 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 and there you go. Yeah. To think the action figure, this is what we just said, the lady, she stuck it in my head, Heather, about the wet dream of spiritual seekers is for the peak experience to stabilize. That's the wet dream everyone's having. We want to stop going this way and that way, but we want to stop going this way and that way, which is programmed to go this way and that way. So you'll have a super high when it goes the way you want it to go, but then you're going to be bummed out when it swings the other way, which is going to do, so to speak. Yeah. So obviously, how many rotations do you need? Especially if you've been introduced to non-duality. Non-duality, the Course of Miracles talks about saving time. If you're reading this book, we're telling you from the Course of Miracles that we're here to save you time, bro. Yeah. So instead of contemplating for 80 years and doing this, you're going to do basically nothing, and you're going to arrive at I need do nothing. Yeah. Yeah. It's not like another way of doing something, chanting, I need do nothing. You're going to come to an observation, I need do nothing. Because why? Because you are what you're looking for. Yes? Yeah. And what? So there's in the old famous faith mind, I just heard it the other day. It's an old Zen thing from very short, but I'd recommend looking at it, by Richard Clark translation. And he says so many simple things. He doesn't, the guy who was saying it. He says, you can't use activity to produce stillness. That would be activity, you see? So this is the little catcheroo that a lot of people would like to just deny and avoid, or think they're exempt because they're unique and special. But basically, yeah, any activity to produce stillness is just producing activity. Yes, you see. Why? Because the stillness doesn't need to be produced. You're of stillness. Yeah. So the head wants to produce a stillness that has a lot of activity involved in it. Yeah. So there's activity, and then the stillness is like the little gift, and then there's more activity. Yeah. So it's not stillness. And when it said, when you hear be still, it's really more of an echo, not an order. Yeah. Because in a sense, that your nature is being still. It's the mental activity is agitated. And it's not because what it says it's agitated, like by you or by my boss or by this or that. Its nature is agitated. So it looks to blame things to cause its own nature. But when you realize it when you think, oh, I hate Burlingame, and then you go to Bangkok, and then a couple of weeks later, it looks like Burlingame, Bangkok, because you're there. Yeah. Sooner or later, it's going to land on, hey, something either is trailing me very consistently, or it seems to be a tail I have, or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. So this message, so I was in those movements, of activity, get the stillness, which was like the cherry, and then back to more activity. Yeah. And then the stillness, almost like a treat, wouldn't last that long. And the only thing I could see would to do more of the activity, so I would get a bigger treat of stillness. Yeah. So it was like one night I'd go hear about meditation. We sit for 40 minutes, and then I'd sign up a couple weeks later for the weekend. Saturday and Sunday. And then I started going into big leagues, 10-day retreats, and on and on, all innocently and stuff like that. But I was attempting to have an experience of stillness as that which is its nature is agitation. So what I was trying to get an experience for was what I'm not.
Right.
Yes. And then it starts getting addicted. And this is, because I humbly believe that in this world of activity, spiritual activity was somewhat different or noble compared to other activity. I did. I thought if I'm doing like meditation or Tai Chi, it's above like doing dishwashers or shit like that, And so if someone called me and said, hey, no, I'm too busy trying to make myself still. Really? Don't bring activity in here. I'm trying to get still. Don't you see? I'm close. I can feel it. You just fucked it up. When I lived in Australia, a number of us, I met them in Wisconsin at this Course in Miracle sort of like cult in a weird way. And they all left, and I went with one of the women there, and so we moved into this guy's property. He had a really nice bit of property in this beautiful town called Byron Bay. And he had these different buildings, and we had a duplex we were renting from him. And every day he'd like have like a little golf cart, and around 5:15 he'd drive around the whole grounds to all of the people that were there to tell them he wanted everyone to be quiet at 5:30 because he was going to meditate from 5:30 to 6:30. But so he was completely agitated at 5:15, telling everyone, fucking, you can't make any noise, so that he could enjoy stillness at 5:30. Yes, yeah. And look at how much it takes to control the agitation.
Yeah. A lot.
A lot. I mean, they're almost like vacation spots now, the retreats. You're gonna go kayaking, get a foot massage. How about a retreat in Newark, New Jersey, or Hoboken? Let's try out where everything's agitated and you're gonna be really fucking agitated. So, it's gonna run out. I feel it wasn't gonna run out until I ran into non-duality, really, because non-duality it was almost like there was a weird book that they had in Hinayana Buddhism. Buddha explains everything. So Buddha, all his talk, he explained everything. Yeah. So to me, non-duality sort of explains everything.
Yeah.
It does. It uses all the agitation and then shows the failing of it, and then there's a win there. Yeah, because the answer why it all failed truly is because you're that which you're already that which you're looking for. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't like, hey, bro, you got to pull over, stay at the rest stop for a while because you got a lot of miles to go on the spiritual highway. No, it was just take off, and then you were just on back roads doing shit. You know what I mean? Where is he? Where's that guy? I hated him. He'd fall asleep at the retreats. He's nowhere to be found. So I have faith in it, and I have faith in us, and therefore I think all the efforting has been enough. I don't think there's any need for any more. I don't. I feel it was there to convince us of something. The evidence is there. The convincing is on us now. And it's a beautiful courtroom, because when the evidence presented, the thing that wants to say something is what you're not. It will start lawyering immediately and you can get a really good look at the emperor with no clothes. That's going to have a shock in the system, but the system is going to shrink, so to speak, because the size of it, we've given it all this meaning. It's really, really been blown up by interest and attention. When that's removed, it's so much easier to see it with a different proportion. If you have some distance, what you can't see when it's right on you, you can see clearly. Yeah. You can. And that's the effect of loss of interest. And you can't lose interest. That would be interest in you. Yeah. But there's a losing interest in you by seeing it as not you. Yeah. By becoming aware that you're aware, basically. You're not what's aware of the action figure. You are the awareness of it.
Yes.
Yeah. So instead of, all right, here's the movie and here's the making of the movie being so close, here's the movie and there's the making movie, and then you see that. You get moved much farther back than you could have imagined. Yeah. You were like this, yes. And then and now like this. See, this is what happened. I remember when you were trying to many things happened when you didn't eat and you was meditating 13 hours a day.
Yeah.
You would trip out. Things would happen, yeah. And so here you were, and it was always you getting these realizations or having these realizations, yeah. But then how non-duality is like, it goes like this. You don't move with it. You are moving in your little rut, doing your thing, and the camera pans back, and then you're seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're seen trying to grab another realization and shit. You're seen. And I mean, it's worth more than 1,000 words, one view, one vision.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I believe non-duality and how it's inviting and the cryptic foundations of it are all resting on the idea that Ramana said, being ourselves reality. It didn't say we were reality or we're going to be. It's being. It's a present tense condition that then you can see the other present tense condition, which are of time, from the present tense condition of no time. Yeah. Yeah. So it had a big effect on me. I stopped doing it, I haven't done shit for years. Really. And the funny thing is, it was really noticeable. I'm not interested in people, transcending to the 11th dimension because it's seen that there's going to be a person doing it. I have no interest whatsoever. As soon as there's the person in it, I just fuck it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm driving, we have a nice public radio station, KPFA. I have something on and it's going to be some profound thing. As soon as it's a person going somewhere, I fucking turn it off. Just listen to the wind. I just have no fucking interest in those. It's almost like they're forms of vacations, really, in a weird
Yes.
way. Yeah, that you're going to go somewhere, you're going to disappear, but you're going to come back to tell us all about it. Yeah, so you don't seem to go anywhere. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, so it's had a lot of effects, really. I mean, I used to love tripping out, talking about mind candy, going off, fucking, fourth dimension, duplicating itself into this and then exploding, all like that. Now it's sort of pass me the salt, bro. I don't care. Let me eat my fries, salt and pepper fries. So yeah, I think these are effects of they're valid effects, though. I hold them dearly, losing the interest in all this stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that's that, I guess. If you're having trouble, it's not you having trouble. Does that mean you don't do anything? No, it doesn't mean anything like that. It means it's not you that is having the trouble. Yeah, maybe you'll be moved to do something, maybe you won't. But it doesn't matter if you're moved or if you don't, you're not the one who has the trouble. Yes? The ownership is left. Yeah, it is. Now, and the ownership is the doership, the hearership, the seership, all that, the thinkership. Yes. You just sort of, like I've been on the saran wrap because it's really good. Because if you had 6 things of saran wrap right against your face, you wouldn't see the saran wrap. You would see everything through the saran wrap. Yeah. Everything. And you were maybe even talking about the effects of saran wrap while not knowing the effects of the saran wrap at the moment. Yeah. And then when something happens and there's a movement, maybe you don't move at all, but the saran wrap does. And usually it would have you follow. So it always seems, yeah, but now you don't. And it moves because it cannot not move. It's agitated like crazy. Yeah. And then you see it, and now you see the saran wrap. Yeah. And then you see that, and you see that which is looking through the saran wrap, or you'll see the looking through the saran wrap and in a larger field of seeing it. Yeah. 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 So, yeah. It's not like you get into something else, you get out of something. You get out of this, of the, you know, the closeness. I remember it was so profound when in AA, I got introduced to people who had the same dilemma I was in. Yeah. And when I got introduced to them, I was in a cocoon, literally, of terminal uniqueness. I could see through the cocoon, so I didn't know I was in one, but I was in one. I felt no one thought like I did, or did what I did, or felt like what I did. And I listened for a couple months sober at meetings where people would talk about their thoughts, their feelings, and their reaction to life. And it was obvious, and after a little while, how did these people get my thoughts, or they're not my thoughts? And then I realized all of us unique seeming characters are influenced by the same fucking thing completely. So one movement has infected thousands of little movements. And each one of those thousands of movements think they're unique, special, particular movements, which is the perfect camouflage for this umbrella-like takeover that you never notice it, because everything that it does through you, you think it was you doing it. Yes, this is the bondage of self. The bondage of self, you are actually the handcuff bracelet. You're not in handcuffs. You are the handcuff bracelet. Yes. Yeah. So, and freedom is contagious, though. When you get some relief, and I mean relief from having to get relief, you know, relief from that is awesome. When you get relieved of that need to get relief, man, because you may think you're standing still, but you're constantly seeking and moving to get something. But when you get relief of that drive to get relief, it mimics stillness. Yeah, you're finally going to get the mail that's been sent to you, so to speak. You're here, yeah, and then what you saw when you looked at things that were moving while you were moving, you had a take on them, and then it's a different take when you see things that are moving and you're not moving. You see the same thing differently, very, very, very differently, and you see the thing that you call this differently because it's moving. You're not. This does not stop. Yeah, but there's a stillness, and then you see the movement that this is always engaged with. Yes, yeah, and then, but at this point, that would be unbearable if it was you. And probably it wouldn't be wise to have it revealed because it would be fucking unbearable. But because now that you got a flavor, it's not you, it's revealed. Yeah. Yeah. It wouldn't have been good if it was revealed because it would probably blow someone's head up. Yeah. Yeah. So, yep. Has anyone had a Zoom bomb that didn't have the sexual overtones, whatever? What is it always with, yes. Yeah, there's always something like jumbo size your mother or something. It's always the fucking crazy shit. I mean, I wonder, talking about coming from the body. Yes, yes. I saw this weird thing the other day on TV, not TV. Oh yeah, it was TV, Netflix, I think, about a guy named Gacy, who was a killer. I think his name was Ed Gacy. He's one of the massive serial killers in American history. And he was in prison for a while, and these people interviewed him for like 5 years. And he was saying an incredible thing because he would kill men. Yeah. And he said, all those killings with men was sex without love. There was no love in the sex I was having. It was really pretty profound. Yeah. There was no love in the sex I was having. And it led to murder, to killing them. Yeah. There's never any love. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. It's a trip. It was pretty incredible because he was missing that love in a weird way. And I guess there was an anger about that. So it took it out on the person that wasn't giving him the love, but he wasn't providing any himself. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So of course, the head would always love to project everything on
Yeah.
others. So there you go. You fucked up, bro. I haven't followed through and listened in more, but I thought that was pretty incredible. Yes. Yeah. Because when the Zoom, it's sex without love. The
Right.
Zoom. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just got a crudeness that's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Shock and awe.
It's just a shame. They're literally, I mean, yeah, it's just a shame. It's so easy to the baseness of things. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, hey, anyone? I still can never get this turn on reactions thing off the.
Oh, Chris has his hand up.
Oh, Chris. All right. Chris who? Gilmore? No.
Yes, Gilmore.
Chris Gilmore. Wow. All right, Chris.
Hey, Paul. I have a bit of a strange question. It's to do with your Wang Po thing. And could you state that again, what Wang Po said?
Well, I said a lot of ones. You mean whatever
Yeah.
can be perceived cannot be that which is perceiving?
Yeah, no. What is the link between that one and another one about waves in the ocean? What is the similarity of
He has
the
one
string
about
going
waves
through
in
and
the
connecting
ocean.
those two?
Does
Yeah,
he
what
have
about the
something?
one?
Hmm?
Yeah, I mean, he's saying the same thing, I know, but in terms of the observing can't be the observed, is that what it is? That,
Yes.
so what is the similarity in those two ideas? They're coming from the same source, obviously, so I just wondered if you could talk about that.
Well, I don't remember his thing about the wave. So I'm intimate with the other one about whatever can.
Well, maybe no, it's not him,
Oh, it's
it's a
me.
statement about, yeah, the waves in the ocean being the same, and that other statement by Huang Po, what's the similarity between the two ideas?
I don't know. You'd have to ask him because I don't remember we do an ocean thing where the ocean in this event, time and space is thinking it to be a wave. And thinking it to be a wave, it hasn't lost any of the quality of the oceans, but it's seeking the qualities of the ocean as a wave. And it wants to be closer to the water because it wants to experience the ocean as the wave. Yes. And it wants to dive in, but it seems to always go towards the shore as the wave. And da, da, da. And the whole point is that wave is just a separating idea that has nothing in it. Yeah. So if you would talk to the ocean, AKA wave, about the wave, the ocean would probably get it. I'm not a wave.
Right.
Yes?
Yes.
Because every quality the wave has is of the ocean. Yeah.
Yes.
It just has a name and it's been given a form that seems to set it in its little trip is separating itself from the larger event. Yes.
Yes.
So it getting trying to live closer to the ocean is sort of a joke because it's can't leave the ocean because it's not. There's no dry waves. Maybe there is, but he thinks it's a dry wave and it keeps wanting to jump in the water, but all the while being the water.
Right.
Yeah. So in that sense, that's how we used to use it. Yeah. The stubbornness, and it's not about convincing the wave it's the ocean. It's just telling the ocean it's not the wave. Yeah, this is very important. It's not, you're not going to become an evangelical and you're going to go tell, the wave it's an ocean. No, you're just going to tell the ocean it's not a wave. Yeah. And then the ocean, AKA wave, gets it and stops and does exactly the same thing, but stops calling itself a wave. And then the idea of separation's gone, and I've got to be closer, but it seems I'm always farther away, and all the failures of the desire to dive into the ocean would be gone. You'd lose interest in all because wave, AKA ocean. Yeah. I think
Well, the
that's
two
how I
are-
would say it. Hmm?
The two, sorry, the two, in other words, the idea I get is that basically there's a oneness aspect there where the ocean and the wave are the same.
Yeah.
So I was coming back to the thing with Wang Po. How is that idea of oneness conveyed in that statement that he makes
He's not trying to
about the
do.
observing and the observed? That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, he's trying to, I don't know, if I was doing it or when we're doing it, you're attempting to negate the oneness at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're attempting the oneness of the two things, which is the perceived and the perceiving. Yeah. Has been seen by the head as a oneness. So you're negating that oneness by saying whatever can be perceived, the object cannot be the perceiving. Yes, because see, this is why.
But if the essence, if the essence of the whole sort of thrust of non-duality and spirituality is essentially the oneness of everything.
I don't believe that. I'm not into oneness really.
But what about the ocean and the wave, though? Isn't that the same thing as saying that things are one?
Well, no, because when you're thinking of ocean, it's not, there's only ocean. Ocean brings up shore, brings up beach. Yes, doesn't it? If the largest way you could entertain the ocean would be being held by something like the earth, don't you think? So it's not, he's using that mechanism to get to the same point, but the point isn't oneness. It's neither. It's not this nor that. Yeah. But it's starting so the perceiving and to me, the perceiving and the perceived is beautiful. It's perfect because you can go into your head right after you hear that, and the head's whole narrative is based on the perceived is what's perceiving.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a negation of a vast system with one stroke. So to me, that's unbelievable. I mean, the efficiency of it. The ocean and the wave, he may have been trying to get something else across, but all in the same spirit. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. When you get to be all one, you're going to see that's not true also.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay,
There's
thank
only oneness because there's an idea of two-ness. Yeah. Yeah. So they would go to zero in a sense, a nothingness or emptiness. Yes. But we don't have to go there. Just go not to. Yeah. There's no advanced class where it's not 5. It's not 2. That's sufficient enough to shift the contents of the cargo of the boat, so the boat goes, travels lighter. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I see it. But I haven't read the Hoang Po ocean one. I haven't read Hoang Po in years. I just take what moved me in my early years, and I'm still using it. I mean, it's like I'm a comic that stole a joke 30 years ago, and I just my whole shtick is based on those jokes. It is a lot of it. So I haven't pursued any more studying. I just sort of what reading in spirituality wasn't just for reading's sake. I like reading's sake. I used to. I don't do it anymore. But when I was a kid, I read a lot, and I liked it. Yeah. But what reading spiritual stuff to me was, you were just hanging out until something triggered. Yeah. And then it would set off like it would be the correct yodel to set off the avalanche.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I got hit by all that snow, and that's what I remembered.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes I would stop reading the book after a major avalanche happened because it did what I felt, not but what this whole thing felt was enough, and then moving on. Yeah, yeah. But that's just my expression of it. I wasn't poring over stuff for knowledge. Yeah. No, I saw the finiteness of a lot of stuff. I saw knowledge. I saw the reliance on intellect. You could
Yeah.
see it, and how people bypass a sense feltness for a mental knowing, you know, a conceptual, let's say, and then debating those conceptual archetypes to see which is the most sturdy, which I don't think any of them are sturdy. Yeah. So my point was to hear something, be it satsang or a book or a video, and then there would be an aha, and that aha would match the yodeling that set off the avalanche. And it was like, oh, you know, two yodels. I don't know. It was like a chemical combustion. Yeah. And those kind of fireworks don't happen now. They happen early on, but the fireworks don't happen. Now there's just it's like you're on a road of 5 miles and you thought that was it, and then there's an extra 100 meters and something takes you a little farther, so you get to see around bends a lot. But that, I think, is just because I have a seed assignment to share, you know. And then the rest of the stuff, I'm just dumbed down completely. A lot of, you know, yeah. So, yes, but I feel, you know, stuff may be until the relief kicks in, and you'll know the tree by its fruits. You will know, you'll be convinced that you're convinced. Yes, you'll know. There'll be a knowing of being convinced, and then you may never entertain or look down that alley again, ever, or as long as you're gone. All these things that would grab attention at times may not in time. Yeah. And then you're just walking around and basically you're forgetting everything. Yeah. I mean, you see it, you hear it, you feel it, you taste it, touch it, but there's not collecting it. There's not collecting it and, you know, stashing it away. It's just really, you're pretty much empty all day and you get filled during the day. But you're basically, your original condition is empty, and then there's a lot of filling, but at the end of the day, it's empty. It's just, yeah. So things go, you have feelings, sensations, and blah, blah, blah. Nothing seems to stay. Yeah.
Right.
And then more shit's put in the next day, and on and on and on.
There's nobody to hold on to anything.
Yeah, maybe you'd have a good bowel movement. In a sense, maybe you had spiritual constipation. Now shit comes, you get what you get out of it, and it gets out. Yeah, who knows? I don't know. I just got whacked by the message of non-duality, and over the years, it's almost like a diamond-like shaft of light. It illuminates whatever I'm doing, yet you can't call it a path. Awesome. Yes. It's such a solution that if you try to apply it as a solution, it won't work. Because it's a solution to the need to apply solutions to problems, and on and on. Yeah. Watch. Very few people have been able to make skillful means out of non-duality. Very. I think it's a pointless endeavor, because it may work once, it's probably not going to. It changes things, and it changes the dynamic of solution, problem. Yeah. You see the problem not like you used to see it, and there's no demand for a solution. Yeah. Yeah. So you find like there's a leak in your pipes, you don't call the plumber. You're aware there's leak in your pipes. Yeah, and so on and so forth. You can survive with leaky pipes. Yeah, things like that. Yeah. I don't know, I try to say it, it's hard, difficult. It's not really, but when you're speaking on a large thing, it's easy. When the minutia of traveling lighter is expressed, it's the only way it can work is if it triggers your sense of traveling lighter.
Yeah.
That's the point. Yeah. So we're sharing traveling lighter. Yeah. 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 All right.
Yes,
Anyone else?
Paul, we have 3 more hands up.
3 more hands.
We have Robbie Ray first.
Robbie Ray. Come on in, Robbie Ray.
Hi, Paul. Hi, everybody. I keep coming back to hope this will soak in more and more, and I keep wondering if it's not too personal. What's a day in the life of Paul like? Just every day, like, it's weird to ask, like, what do you wake up not thinking about? But what's your day like?
That's a tough question. I haven't been noticing it much. What's the day like?
Like, what do you do?
So I wake up, but I'm awake before I wake up. So I'm awake, and then there's the waking up of Paul. Yeah, but sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's very short glimpse, but there's an awake, and then there's the Paul awakes. Yeah. And then Paul surveys the body and sees what's hurting, and what's bringing me closer to the mortal coil and everything. And then it's what's going to happen when my feet hit the ground. There's a little insecurity around that. And then I usually just lay there. Especially if Amelia's still asleep, I don't get up. I lay there because I have nothing really to do. So and then she gets up, then I get up. And then I feed the dog. That's important. Let it out first. And then what do? I check the weather. Yes, because I have this what am I going to wear today? Shorts, something like that. Check the weather. And then if I really want to cause myself dis-ease, I check out other places' weather, and which is better than ours here. No, I don't do that. I did check out Dover, New Jersey, because I'm going there Thursday. So, and then what do? I sit, have a coffee, fantastic. I look at the iPad. When the iPad closes, the dog knows it's time to go out. I play with the dog, throw balls, but it never retrieves the ball, it never brings it back, so I walk a lot. I do that again, and then I come in, and I don't know what happens. Either I have to do something or a Zoom, or I go to something, but I don't eat till like 12 usually. I don't eat that much. And then I just do whatever's going on. Yeah, show up, and usually I have 5 Zooms a week. And sometimes I'll go to an AA meeting, and yeah, that's pretty much how it is, I guess. And then I'm transcending at every moment into the blazing fucking sun of all suns. And then I turn the toaster on and I make some avocado toast. Yeah. And then I go back into the conception of the universe. I'm right there before it. And then I have some biscotti that were made by a lovely lady named Mia. Yes, gluten-free biscotti. I have a year-long fucking subscription to it. I have biscotti every day if I want, gluten-free biscotti. So yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. Some days, whatever. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of gratitude, especially for the body working. Yes, I have a lot of gratitude because I know it can go any way. It's sort of like I rest in a certain uncertainty. You know, it could fuck up, and then what I would do if it fucks up, I say I'll give it a day, and I go back to sleep that night and see if it's bad the next day. Then maybe I have to do something. Usually it's not bad, so I get off. That's it so far. Yeah. Yes.
Thanks.
Then I count all your donations, which doesn't take me that long. And I think about motherfucker, Ajashanti and these people. Whatever. No. It's all good. Yeah, nothing, honey. There's nothing to write home about, literally. You know what happened? I'll tell you. The action figure has learned things the hard way, but it has learned. And one thing is, I lean on the non-active side. Yes. A lot of things that I used to want to do had payoffs, but they also had costs. And I'm just not into costs anymore. Yeah. So if something is going to demand a lot of me, I'm not going for it. Yeah, just not. Yeah. So this, and I'm having trouble traveling now. This may be one of the last ones I do. I'm just not in, the Zoom has got me lazy. I'd just rather come to the Zoom, wear some sweatpants and just instead of, going to United and fucking they may never let me back in. I don't know what the hell. So yeah. I don't know why, but if you like, that's it. You can get, if you want, I have one of the most ordinary, mundane blog posts. I'll send you a subscription. You can follow
Okay.
every day. Yeah.
Okay.
The life of Paul Hedderman.
Thank you. I like it. It sounds a lot like mine, actually.
There you go. Yes. Yeah. I was always tripped out. I used to do Tai Chi in the park. And there was a Buddhist monk was be there every night, just walking around this little thing every day when I was there. And I realized it was new to him every time because his mind was fresh. Yeah. Yeah. And that's sort of, I feel like why do I want to drive 4 hours to convince myself I hiked when I can do it in my yard? Yeah. I don't need any convincing. We'll take a little walk. It's like Yellowstone Park to me. Yeah. It's tons of shit's happening. Yeah. I mean, on the micro level, everything is fucking going off, especially now. I mean, the flowers and everything are unbelievable. So yeah. All right, let's move on to yeah. I want to be buried. I want to be buried in a Yankees uniform. With a bat. That's how I want to go out. Yeah. And I mean out. 3 strikes, you're out. I want a funeral pyre. And I want someone to practice for months to shoot the arrow with the fire on it. So he hits the fucking funeral pyre in the water and I go off in a giant. Yeah. And then forgotten completely in about 2 seconds. Yeah, but then you'll have YouTube. Yeah, this is cool. I'm going to pass away, and yet
Nothing changed.
Yeah, nothing will change. It'll probably be better, really. without me lugging up the thing. Yes. So yes, I may be doing all of you a favor to take off, because then you can just have your idea of Paul in the YouTubes. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah. Hey, my name's Walt.
Hey,
I just
Walt.
want to say thanks. Hi. I've been wanting to join this meeting. It's the first time I've joined live, and just started learning about the non-duality concept last year. Good buddy of mine introduced me to it, and I was just mind blown because I guess I was ready for it at that time. It answered a lot of questions for me. And so every day I'm just growing more and more in there. But then again, it was there before. Almost like now I'm just becoming aware of what this is. Kind of like I'm dreaming on and off, and I'm appreciating it. It also complements my AA journey
Yeah.
very well. It doesn't fight against it. It just works. It just helps me understand things a lot better. So it's wonderful. It's passive. It's not like, yeah, it's just a very subtle, this is it. And, it's not too exciting and too, that kind of thing where I feel this profound epiphany. It's just a nice passive, and things just seem to work themselves out a lot better when I'm
Yes.
present. That's all I could say. And in a very, very paradoxical way, it does. So, but anyways, thanks so much for this. I'm really grateful to have this kind of a get together or a fellowship, if you will. So, thanks.
Well, we're grateful for what you just shared. Fantastic. Yeah. You're without knowing it, you're a lifetime member of ZenBitchSlap.com.
There you go. And I love that too. Zen Bitch Slap. Yeah, I got that bitch slap.
Benefits will
That's why
be
I'm here
coming
today.
shortly. Yes, yes. Yeah. All right.
Okay,
Well,
good.
thank you. Thank you for
Right.
that share. Very
Thanks.
succinct and to the point. Yes. Anyone else? We had 3 hands. What happened?
Yeah, I'm the third hand. How are you? It's
Third
Matt.
hand.
It's
That's
Matthew. Matt,
Matthew.
can you hear me all right?
Yes. Yep.
So, Paul, the Richard Clark Wang Po statement of, we are of stillness was a beautiful statement that we can't use activity to generate stillness, just like you can't use the Buddha to find the Buddha.
Yes.
That was enough. But one of the things that, has come up for me, this action figure has a lot of pain and medical issues. And that pain keeps bringing me back into the action figure, or makes, and you mentioned the leaky pipes, and, you can live with leaky pipes. Have you processed like how pain and non-duality for you and your own experience with pain, how is that keeping you away? It's pulling me out of the stillness. I am the stillness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
So
on.
see, a lot of things are convincing, but they won't convince you if you're convinced. So entertaining this message is going to bring you to a state of being convinced, which won't be able to be unconvinced by what used to be very convincing, let's say. All right. Now, I want to move away from pain because pain is part of this event. Yeah. But suffering is another story. And the suffering doesn't have, it's an add-on to the pain. Yeah. And I found great relief from suffering, even though I don't have relief from the pain that got triggered when I got run over by a car. Yes. So, and I've learned how to deal with the pain, and I've also learned how to see the suffering. Yep. And the suffering is the reaction of the heads to the experience of pain. It elongates it, mutates it, and we're built here as the action figure. It's almost as if something rips the spacesuit's skin, the attention and interest goes there immediately. Yes? Right? This is what happens. This is what flips people out, is when they have pain, it's almost like the interest and attention glues right on it. Yes? That's the shaking of the awakening of suffering. You see? Just right there, the pain has already been used to set up another kind of pain, which is the fear of pain, the length of pain, the foreverness of pain, the intrusion of pain, the why me pain, all this. Yeah. And sometimes people don't see it's happened so quick, they don't see pain as something different than suffering, which it is. Yes, it is. Yeah. So I've seen people with chronic pain. I used to go talk in Perth, Australia, years and years ago, mostly AA, long, long time ago. And the host that had me, Damien, he brought me to see this lady who had 4th stage bone cancer. And luckily her husband they weren't that well off, but they were well off. And she was bedridden. Yeah. And her husband would have to pick her up. And they had put a bed in the living room so she could look out the garden. This lady was lit up, very lit up. And she had a large amount of relief from the suffering. The pain was still there, but she seemed to have, she was enjoying relief from the suffering. Yeah. And it was obvious because she wasn't jumping up and down. She couldn't even move much because of the pain, but her brilliance was shining through. And I went there a couple of times, and the first like 3 times I'd be away and then go back and see her. Just brilliant sameness of light, but her condition had gotten worse. Yeah. And then the next time I came, she had passed away in between. But she was not free from the pain. The body wasn't, but she was free from the suffering of it. Pretty good. Yeah. So that's how I see it. Yeah. And you can get out of pain with certain things. People have found great relief with other things to get to decrease the pain so that your quality of life is good. Now, the suffering can make shit out of nothing. Yeah. 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 So this is just how this place is. As the Course says, you and I are the dreaming of the dream. We forget that. How do we forget it? We actually forget it as the dreamt. The vehicle to forget that we are the dreaming of this dream is the identification as the dreamt. That is the way of forgetting we're the dreaming. And it has a consequence here in duality. And what is that consequence? All right, you and I are the dreaming of the dream. We forget that. Yeah. Now, everything we're dreaming, we give it the ability to affect us. So now we're giving the meaning to things to affect this thing. Yeah. So now I have an ass and I can get that ass can get bit. Yes. Based on forgetting the dreaming and taking yourself to be the dreamt. So now there was sort of built-in invulnerability, and now the slings and arrows are coming through. Wow, da, 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 da. Yeah, all conditioned on the identification as the dreamt. Yeah, so if you're gonna go with the pain, be clear about what's really the exhausting quality a lot of the time is the suffering. Yes.
Yeah, this time around, Paul, a lot of gratefulness towards the action figures.
Yeah.
Just the fact that it survived so long. I'm grateful.
Yes, and seat assignments are seat assignments, and I believe, like they say, God will never give you any more than you can handle. I believe God will not give you any more than it can handle. So what you think you can handle, something else can. I don't like God idea, but I'm using it. So yeah, bro, I understand. It's I don't have the intimacy of it because the volume of the pain in you I don't have in this body today, but I know what it's like, and I have an empathy for it. And yeah, what we can do is what we can do, but the suffering can be minimized and shrunk. Yes?
Mhm.
Yes. And then there's a weird joy when you find something that works. Like I have a lot of troubles like with sinuses, and now just spraying saline salt water up there every day helps. And I'm fucking incredibly grateful because a lot of times I would do things and nothing worked, and things just get worse and worse. And so do you have a particular joy when something works? Yes. So
Mhm.
yeah, remember, we're not on a ride. We are the ride. This is the ride, bro. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like it or not, this is the ride. I have no idea the summation of it all or what it's meant or everything. I have no idea. I do know that pain and suffering are not the same thing. I know that. It's difficult to escape pain, but you can escape suffering. You can, because
Mhm.
it is not of you. Something, yes. So, yeah, I'm with you,
Thanks.
bro. And yeah, just make sure you give yourself a break. Yes. And someone will always be helpful and happy to hold on to something that's too heavy right now. Yeah, just the way it goes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Paul.
Yeah, bro. And you're also a lifetime member of ZenBitchSlap.com.
Thanks.
Yeah. Someday it's going to mean a lot. It really is. You're going to realize when you go off somewhere, they're going to, hey, do you have that Zen Bitch Slap card? And, wow. Yeah. All right. Anyone else? Matthew, thank you, bro. Thank you. And yes. Yes. You get relief when you sleep, yes?
Yeah,
Fantastic. Really cherish it. Man.
yeah, I do.
You get a break. Yes. Yeah. Sometimes that's the best you can do is go to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Oh, Floyd put his hand up.
Who?
Floyd,
Floyd.
Floyd.
Yes, I know Floyd. Come on in.
Morning,
Hi,
Floyd.
Paul.
Hey.
Hi, Paul. Yeah. When you said about love, you know, when you were talking about the serial killer.
Yeah.
So sometimes in non-duality, there's an idea that, like there's not even love because
Oh, yeah,
there's
but we're
nothing
not talking
happening.
about non-duality. We're talking about sex, which is of the body, right?
Yeah.
So in the world of Zoomers, we were started there where every time I've been on a Zoom bomb, it's always fucking sexual
Yeah.
innuendos or fuck,
Mm.
fuck, repeating. And so it went to this, it just, my head has weird
Yeah.
synapses. So it went to this Ed Gacy fucking serial killer with a profound thing he fucking said in one of these interviews he did while in prison, where he said he was having sex without any love, and it fucking drove him. Yeah. Yeah. So we were talking on this action figure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't
Yeah,
go.
I got that.
Don't let
Yeah.
duality take love away from you. That's not the point. Yeah. Yeah. It's
I just
not
wanted to know if
like
this
an
is,
arid, this isn't, in the beginning of gluten-free shit, it sucked really bad. So you'd get gluten-free bread and it was bad. So you'd have to put some shit on it, almond butter, some preserves because it was bad. Come on, give us a little love. Yeah, don't take that away.
yeah. I was curious if love is a function of the action figure, or sometimes in spirituality they talk about divine love, or
I don't
how do
care.
you?
Who knows, bro? But it doesn't matter. If you knew, it wouldn't change one little inch of your head or anything. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Just see the point now and let the other stuff take care of themselves. Yeah. You getting behind what love means isn't going to do shit. It isn't. Yeah. It'll probably be an idea you think you have, and you'll be proven wrong, because that's what life does. When you think you have it sussed out, it always. So, yeah. Hey, if one of the greatest mercies of this place of time and space is love, let's not usher it out before it's time. Yes. The void will be as empty, but there won't be anyone to notice it. Yeah, so yes. Yeah. So,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah. The absolute is not a dessert here. It doesn't work well. Yeah. Just yeah. 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 Emptiness is incredible with emptiness. It's unbelievable. Can go on and on infinitely. Yeah. We're in an activity. Yeah. That's inherently empty, but at least we're fooled with the idea this could be love. Love for one another. Yes, love for just for the sake of it. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. All right. Anyone else this lovely night? Hey, I wanted to tell you guys, tomorrow there's no talk. It's on the website. I'm going to be in the friendly skies of United, I think, tomorrow, going back east. And the schedule is on the website. I haven't seen it, but I have great faith in Martin, and I know it's probably there. And so tomorrow there won't be any talk, recovery talk. Saturday there will be a talk. It'll be 4:00 Pacific time, East Coast time, 1:00. So yes, we'll have the Saturday meeting on Zoom alone, no live. I'll be in back east. All right. And then the rest of the week is on the website. But no meeting in the morning tomorrow. I got to go to the airport and stuff. Hey, all right. Anyone?
No, that's all. Thank you, Paul. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Hey, let me say goodbye to some people here. Raven, nice to see you, honey. Yep. Kerry, as always. David, yes, David down under. Yes. Heather, our resident magician. Nice to see you. Robbie Ray, thank you. Nick. Chris H. Annette in New York. I'll be seeing Annette soon, I think. Alan Olson. Chris Gilmore, he's been with us, knowing it or not, since the beginning of our Zooms. I think Mika in Finland. Matthew. Yeah. Shannon, as always. Kathleen, I'll see you soon. And yeah, thank you so much. I can't go to the other page. Hey, it's a pleasure. See you soon. Bye-bye. Yes.
Thank you.